Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a good Wednesday, wherever you are around the world. Hopefully, everyone is good. Hopefully, everyone's had a good day, I should say as well. Welcome back to yet another Liverpool news episode. Of course, we do have big news, as you can see by, of course, the title and the thumbnail, of course, and as you can see, hopefully on screen. Of course, Harvey Elliott is out injured. We're going to discuss a bit about that in tonight's episode as well. Get your guys' thoughts on, of course, him being out injured until October. It looks to be late October as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that. As well, we'll also discuss Ryan Gravenberch as well. Last night, absolutely outstanding performance against Germany. Again, he's really taken that form from again from the club side of things to the national side of things, which is really fun as well to see it. Again, him being without a shadow of a doubt probably the best player on the pitch in that Germany game yesterday for Holland as well. And of course, we're going to talk a little bit about Kylian Mbappe. I know Ricky's going to be watching, absolutely fuming about this, but we'll talk a little bit about, of course, all the news that's coming out of France, suggesting that Liverpool have made a ridiculous bid back in 2022, and get your guys' thoughts on it as well in the comments down below as well. But again, let me know how all of you are as well. Anyway, but of course, it's one big story yet again, of course, because look, he was never going to join Liverpool, was he, realistically? But big up Cal as well. Hope he's doing well. DH is in as well, saying October's in 3 weeks, and he wasn't getting minutes anyway. It's okay. I would disagree with that heavily. Look, the games are coming thick and fast. Even if it is towards the back end of October, again, he's going to miss around 8 to 9 games by then. That's minutes in the legs. Like for me, I think he would have definitely played a big part in this coming week, especially when we've got Forest coming up, we've got AC Milan away, and then we've got Bournemouth at home. Games that Liverpool should be winning, but again, difficult opponents nevertheless, in terms of, again, going away to AC Milan, and then of course you got Bournemouth and at home. I think, is it the early kickoff chat for Bournemouth? I don't think so, but again, it's still a very, very tough game in that aspect of things anyway. But we'll quickly talk. Actually, to be fair, I've got the Gravenberch stuff. We'll quickly talk about this story first off, then, of course, and talk about Kylian Mbappe. Obviously, the potential bid that was supposedly spoken about anyway. But according to L'Equipe, anyways, you hopefully can see that on the screen right now, is saying that obviously Kylian Mbappe reached verbal agreement to join Liverpool back in 2022. So it does go on to say that L'Equipe reported this Wednesday that 2 years ago, Kylian Mbappe had reached a verbal agreement to join Liverpool Football Club. The outlet understands that on the back of his contract renewal, obviously tying him to PSG until 2024, the player option to extend for a further year. Obviously the French captain felt betrayed by the French league team. The latter reportedly sold Mbappe an ever-ambitious transfer window with the expected arrival of Manchester City playmaker Bernardo Silva and Bayern Munich striker Robert Lewandowski. The outlet understands that Mbappe's entourage asked the PSG executives to allow him a way out before the end of the transfer window, so much so that the striker reportedly refused to take part in the 22-23 season, opening 5-0 thrashing of Clermont. Mbappe was officially absent, though through injury. PSG then reportedly received 2 bids from Real Madrid and Liverpool, the 2 foreign clubs who always had an interest, of course, in Kylian Mbappe. Liverpool reportedly offered 200 million euros to PSG. Liverpool's bid to land Mbappe was reportedly worth 200 million euros, who, of course, Enriquez, I think that is, who was PSG sporting director before the appointment of Luis Campos, asked the Premier League giants to double that amount as a way to cut short of negotiations. In the meantime, Mbappe had reportedly already reached a personal agreement with Liverpool over a short-term contract, which would have allowed him to join Real Madrid in the future. Mbappe eventually signed the long-term contract with obviously with PSG, and of course the deal did get expired. So Look, what do we make of it, chat? Because for me, look, I think there was always an appetite there with Kylian Mbappe and Liverpool. I think Jurgen Klopp, I think, of course, he's spoken about it very highly, didn't he, about how Liverpool, they, again, admired Kylian Mbappe. Of course, Kylian Mbappe is one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world, behind Mo Salah, of course. But it's that, it's that kind of moment though as well when you do look at it and go, again, that in the contract that it was spoken about in terms of there being a type of clause in there that if Real Madrid come knocking, Mbappe then would leave to go to Real Madrid. Again, I don't think personally Liverpool would allow themselves to do that. Personally, I think Liverpool would have, again, once they want to sign players, especially under Jurgen Klopp, you're not going to say, oh, we'll have him for a year or two and then we'll ship him off then for nothing. Because like Real Madrid are not going to be paying 200, 300 million euros just to get him out of Liverpool. That's not going to work. Again, it would have been probably, in their eyes, a very, very short-term deal. And look, I don't think Liverpool would be that personally. I don't think Liverpool would be a part of that because, again, this is in the same summer that we sold we sold Sadio Mane. We brought in Darwin Núñez. Of course, we needed midfielders more than anything. So whether or not that ties into those conversations, I'm not so sure. But again, the supposed bid that was spoken about, again, 200 million euros. There was another one from another French outlet reporting there was 165 million pounds, which again, I don't see. Of course, if Liverpool would be, if we could have kept Kylian Mbappe for the next 5-6 years, of course, look, I think Liverpool would have 100% been in those conversations, but those conversations were never realistic. I don't think Liverpool would have allowed us to go and spend that amount of money. Of course, Liverpool could go and spend that money. Of course we could, but unless Liverpool are going to have Mbappe for the next 5 years and then he goes to Real Madrid, again, that I don't see Liverpool being a part of that personally. I don't think as we would set up the way the club was and is. We're not that stepping stone anymore of, okay, you come to us and then maybe in a year or two's time, you go on to Real Madrid, Barcelona, that type of feeling, similar to how it was in, the 2000s and of course, the 2010s. Of course, I think the Coutinho type deal, that was the last for Liverpool, that Liverpool looked at it and went, yeah, that's the last time we sign a player that's going to use as a stepping stone because we want to be at the top of European football. We want to be challenging for everything in that aspect of things, and we was that team throughout Europe as well. So look, I do think it's one of those stories, isn't it, where I can believe 60% of it, but I think 40 or even 50-50 in that sense. I can believe some of it, but the other side of it, I'm also like, yeah, there's no way Liverpool would allow themselves to be like that or do that. But again, it would be interesting, maybe, in a couple of years' time, we maybe hear something from Jurgen Klopp speaking about it as well. So, hopefully, there is something in there with the story of it, but look, it was never going to happen, was it? Similar to the Jude Bellingham stuff, it's always Real Madrid. If Real Madrid wasn't a thing, I wonder what Liverpool's team would look like if it wasn't for Real Madrid. Anyway, but 3 PMs, then 3:30 at Wolves as well. Thank you, Cal, for that. Won't be long now. Proper Footy is back. Yes, of course, on Saturday, 3 p.m. against Forest. So again, looking forward to that as well anyway. But speaking of Proper Footy as well, again, getting away from the Mbappe stuff, this man for me last night, unbelievable. I do encourage everyone to go and watch the extended highlights of Ryan Gravenberch against Germany. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. What he did against them. Looking at it now, again, match rating of 7.6. Got an assist as well. Should have had probably 2 or 3 assists last night. If the Holland forwards could attack as well, that would be brilliant as well. But looking at it again, yeah, completed 37 is 41 passes, which is 90%, 100% pass accuracy, 2 big chances created, 1 big shot as well from the game. But again, interceptions, looking at, he got 1 interception, 4 recoveries as well. Ground duels, he won 60%, aerial duels, he won 50% of them. So again, I think Ryan Gravenberch is very much one of these players where I think already, as we've seen already with 3 games into the season, he is somebody who's going to be up there for Liverpool's player of the season if he can stay fit. That's the big issue. Is Arne Slot has found something in Ryan Gravenberch that's woke him up. And of course, him playing in this new system as the 6, or the more defensive 8, then if you want to call it that, like Ryan Gravenberch is a really, really good footballer, and the fact he's still only 22. Again, we all spoke about it, didn't we, in the summer, me included in that, in terms of wanting to sign a 6 and needing to sign a 6 for the season ahead, but we never used Ryan Gravenberch like we're doing this season. We never we never used a 6 in the way we're doing at the minute. Of course, it'll be interesting as well with the rotation with the team. It'll be interesting to see how Wataru Endo does suit this style, and how he'll fare off of it, whether or not he will be the spare number 6 in that way. Is it going to be Tyler Morton potentially getting ahead of Wataru Endo? I think obviously we look at the bench at the moment, and of course Wataru Endo has been the main midfielder on the bench, but is it the case now where, again, maybe with games coming thick and fast, is it going to be the case of, again, he's going to get his opportunity in the team? Because I think West Ham in the League Cup, I think well, for me, I would start Morton in the 6, but again, we may end up seeing the double pivot of Morton and Wataru Endo potentially. So again, there's plenty of opportunities for game time for sure as well. Anyway, but for Cal's gone 4-0 Liverpool as well. I'm on the same wavelength of that. Anyway, of course, against Forest. Hello, Anthony. Hope you're doing well. But straight into the red shite, as well. But and Forrest going to say, no, but I'm not going to say that anyway, Anthony. But no, look, I do think we'll beat Forest on the weekend. And again, I would take a 1-0. I'm not going to lie, but I think Liverpool are going to batter Forest on the weekend for sure. Anyway, but again, look, football is a weird thing, isn't it? In that aspect of things, anyway. But Hero saying, what is the biggest accolade for a manager, club, or country? CBA with internationals, but I'd watch a Klopp side. World Cup, innit? Like, if for me, the biggest. And I don't know whether or not if this is just me, but club football, the biggest achievement you could get is Champions League. Like, simple. I think Champions League is the biggest thing you can win. But the World Cup, you're written in that certain legacy in that sense as well, in you, in terms of, again, like growing up as a kid, you had. You had Brazil 2002 side, which again, when you go through that team, it's just a bunch of legends in that sense. But you look at that Spanish team as well, from 2008 to 2012 to 2013. Like that Spain side was unbelievable. It was probably the greatest international side we've probably ever seen, in many ways, in terms of the way they play. But it's the fact that they won a European Championship with no striker. Like that for me, like growing up, you had Cesc Fabregas playing as a false 9 for Spain, and that was the first time we really seen it, or really seen that type of false 9. To be fair, but look, as well, let us know your guys' thoughts on that. Again, obviously there was, I should have clipped it up, but of course, there was talk of Jurgen Klopp with the USA job. Of course, there was, I think The Athletic brought out a report saying that Jurgen Klopp did speak to the USA national team in depth about taking the job as well. So, look, that's the job that I see Jurgen taking potentially one day. I can see him taking the German national job. I can't see him taking, a USA job or anything like that. I would, again, what I think will happen is I think it's Pep Guardiola's last season at Manchester City. I think he will go into international football. Where he'll go, of course, it will be, completely a mystery. I know plenty of English fans want Pep Guardiola to be the next England manager. I don't think he's going to be personally. I think they will give the full-time managerial job to the guy who's currently anything, Lee. I can't remember his last name, but I think he will be the guy that they do go for. But I think Pep Guardiola, of course, is their dream in that aspect of things. But I just think personally, it's going to be. I think he'll maybe have a year or two off and then go for Spain or something like that. Because where can Pep Guardiola go in terms of club football? He's been at Barcelona, been at Bayern, been at Manchester City. He could go to Juve or a team like that, or could even return back to a Barcelona or Bayern Munich. I don't think he would personally, but I think unless the only other way I can see him potentially staying is, of course, he signs a new contract at City, which again I don't think he will do. I think he will leave at the end of the season for Manchester City anyway. But bloody Carsley. So I thought it was Carsley, but I couldn't quite remember. But no, I think he will get a job as well. And look, yeah, I'm all for it. If you're going to play Trent at right back, if you're going to play the best right back at right back, then look, more for it. I'm just going to leave it as that anyway. But what's the best USA team that's tempt him? I don't know. Yeah, look, I think to be fair, I think the USA team, the best team they've ever had is the women's team. But like they could tempt him and everything, can't they? But I think, is it Pochettino's gone to the USA job now? So look, they must try and attract him or something, but I really can't see what, because they are in a complete mess at the minute behind the scenes. But Pep will stay at City if they are cleared. If not, he'll go, in my opinion. Yeah, I think that's similar as well. And I think I'd be surprised though if they get away with it personally. Again, you don't get charged with that, and look, will they be found guilty of all the 115 charges? No, I don't think they will. I think they will escape one or two, but I just think if you get charged 115 times, of course it's different, regulations that they've supposedly breached and so on as well. But I think personally, looking at it, you have to be guilty of some things in that, of course, and look, I've seen Man City fans go, well, we look at when UEFA went for us, we got away with that. Not necessarily. Manchester City was still found guilty of the breaches in that aspect of things. They were still found to be, guilty. Of course, they managed to get their European ban down, but they had to pay, what was it? I think something in the 20 millions that they had to pay in terms of fines and so on as well. Again, that's nothing to Manchester City and their owners. But again, they were still found guilty. Like Pep Guardiola, I remember at the time when he was saying like, oh, we need an apology from everyone who said we were cheaters and this, that, and the other. Like, you were still found guilty of the same thing. Again, just the sentence was dealt severely less. And that's the thing, like, because these charges are from 2009 to 2016 or 17. So if they get found guilty of, these, for example, they then have to go from 2017 to the modern day. So if they've already done it there, they're already doing it now. And that's something as well that the Premier League will have to go on to do as well. But the only thing that scares me a little bit is I feel like the Manchester City will batter the Premier League that badly that they will then just submit and go, okay, well, let's find a settlement in that way. I think I tweeted that out ages ago. But that's for me what I think will happen for it anyway, unfortunately. But Elliott injured, Sobo must be wrapped in cotton wool now. Yes, I would agree 100%, mate. 1,000% on that. But isn't Poch the highest paid manager now in the world? I don't know. It probably would be. They've probably given him a fortune for it anyway. But to be fair, we've got away with of it. Yeah, no. But again, with you, it's different though because again, like the Premier League messed up with yous because I think if they had charged you at the end of this season, I think you would have been found guilty. I don't know how it wasn't altogether, but I know again the Premier League was stupid, and I know the EFL then tried to charge you, but they couldn't, and so on. So literally, you got away with it in some sense. But no, I think it's different towards yous because again, I think I think Leicester have admitted to it, or like at least like again acknowledged it. Manchester City have gone, no, we're not guilty of these things, even though there's so much evidence for it. Like again, they wouldn't have charged them with 115 charges, to be fair, but there is four that are surprisingly major charges, and the rest are minor, which is why 115 is a bit of a false claim. Yeah, exactly. If you actually look at it, to be fair, I think if you actually look at it, the official report says it's like 127 charges, but again, 115 just it's out there in that sense as well anyway. But the Premier League has zero backbone. When you're getting bullied in court by Leicester, it's not a good look neither. No, to be fair, I think the Ev now hate Leicester because they got away with it, which yeah, is quite funny, to be fair anyway. But let's talk then about Harvey Elliott then, and him getting injured. So of course he did go into international duty. Obviously this past week got sent back for assessment of course his leg and so on as well, which again isn't great when you look at it. Which look, we didn't hear anything all week. Again, we just heard that he had come back from the England camp. He had been assessed of course the supposed injuries that he did sustain. But we never heard officially what had happened to Harvey Elliott until today, which was unfortunate anyway. But Paul Joyce did tweet out, if I quickly bring that up on stream, that would be brilliant if I could do that right now. There we go. Is that going to work? There we go. So as you can see by there, let me quickly make that big for you. Yeah, so Harvey Elliott faces a spell on the sidelines with fractured foot. He did also go on to say in the article piece that he will be out for late October, which, again, looking at the games that he will miss, if that is the case, again, we play Chelsea on the 20th of October. If he returns back to that game, again, looking at it now, he misses Forest at home, AC Milan away, Bournemouth at home, Forest at home. Bloody hell, I can't talk. Forest at home, AC Milan away, Bournemouth at home, West Ham at home, Wolves away, Bologna at home, and Crystal Palace away. So again, that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games at a minimum that he does miss. That's not good news, considering again, I know somebody said earlier that again October is literally in what 2 weeks, but when you look at it, the games are coming thick and fast now. Like again, we've got what in the space of a few weeks we play pretty much 5 games in terms of Forest, Milan, Bournemouth, West Ham, and Wolves. That again the games will come thick and fast, and for me, like I said, I think Harvey Elliott would have been used, especially in the AC Milan a game away from home. I think he would have been used in that potentially, or even again Forest at home as well. So he'll now of course ask the question of whether or not we may see Curtis Jones now be the replacement for Dominic Szoboszlai at the minute for that 10 position. Do we potentially use one of the forwards to be the backup now in that sense? Do we use, a Cody Gakpo to potentially, just step in for now as well? Of course, I think when we were speaking about this in the summer, wasn't we? We were speaking about how, when you look at Liverpool's team, like if this player gets injured, then, you got to wrap that player in another cotton wool as well. So again, Dom Szoboszlai, I think, will be completely fine to play, for a little while, because again, of course, Harvey Elliott's going to be, able to, not Harvey Elliott, sorry, Dom Szoboszlai is going to be able to, of course, take those games week in, week out. But again, like West Ham in the cup, I don't see Dom playing any minutes or at least being on the bench. Again, I would suspect there's going to be some sort of rotation in the 10 position. And again, like I've said it on previous streams as well, we've not seen, we've definitely not seen at the moment how Liverpool fare when Arne Slot does rotate. We've not seen it yet. Again, you look at Liverpool's team, the last couple of teams that he has put out, we've never seen rotation apart from the centre back area, where again, we dropped Terrell Konza, we brought in Ibu Konate in our first game of the season, and then we haven't looked back since, in that sense of, again, we've had Ibu alongside Virgil van Dijk, and the front and the midfield three and the front three have been the same throughout as well. So again, I am intrigued to see that, what he does in terms of rotation, but also now how he deals with that 10 position now, and how he deals with Dom Szoboszlai's minutes, because I think if Liverpool, for example, are 2-0 up, maybe even a half time against Forest on the weekend, maybe he might take Dom Szoboszlai off, and to try and rest him and try and secure him, because again, that's the only 10 we have. But in also saying that, we also have midfielders that can play that position quite well. We've got we've got a Curtis Jones that can play there. We've got an Alexis McAllister. We've got Cody Gakpo that could drop there. Federico Chiesa that could play the 10. Of course, that not so much in midfield, but if we're playing more of an attacking 10, then again, you could drop him in there. And again, that's all coulds and, maybes. But again, when you do look at it, I think Liverpool will be fine, but it is a shame that now Harvey doesn't get the chance to shine in that sense, because we haven't seen him so far this season. But it would have been really, really good now to see him being integrated into the team, because I think, again, the likes of Darwin Núñez, Cody Gakpo, Harvey Elliott, they're just waiting now for their opportunity, and once they get it, hopefully again they'll be knocking on the door in terms of starting selection with Arne Slot as well. Anyway, but that's the hopeful dream, of course. Anyway, but that is the gutting news is he's out for at least 7 games, which again is a big miss for Harvey, and of course I think it'll be the longest injury he's had since his leg break as well. So again, not great news, but hopefully, of course, it'll be positive news in terms of his return, hopefully back for the Chelsea game at the end of October as well, because I think there's an international break there anyway. So hopefully, he will be back for that game anyway. But and saying next week when we play the Ev, 100%. Did them games coming quickly. The words of the greatest manager of all time, Nigel Pearson. Jesus Christ. I don't know why I read your comment out anyway, but hello, bro. It's my birthday today. Can I have a shout out? Well, happy birthday. Hopefully you have a fantastic birthday as well. But anyone else watching Flying Pig when United lose, that stuff, look, United losing is brilliant, isn't it, hero? But no, I'm saying our squad is shit. That's why so many fans want to see transfers. Arne Slot won't do much as Klopp. I think, again, I wouldn't be as negative in that sense. I think, look, Arne Slot, again, first 3 games of the season, he's done fantastically well. But it's now when you get in the games, very, very thick and fast, we'll start to see how he fares. And look, we really haven't been tested yet, in the 3 games. Look, apart from the first, 15, 20 minutes to wait at Ipswich, Liverpool haven't really been, our defence haven't really been tested. We were tested more away to Ipswich than we was against Manchester United. And that's not me, taking the mick out of Manchester United. That's the truth. Liverpool very much battered Manchester United. And that, for me, like, Liverpool didn't get out of second gear against Manchester United. It's not like Liverpool was 100 miles an hour, at their absolute best. Like, Liverpool could have gone on to score 4, 5, 6 goals in that game, but we didn't. And that's something that, again, we speak about, that hopefully we can do more into the season and kill teams off. But also it's that sense of, I think there's more to come from this Liverpool team. I think we've still got another 3 or 4 years to go through before we speak about it. Anyway, but no, we would have be second if we were shite. True. We're only 3 games in. I'm talking about winning the league in a season-long battle with City. Where have you been in the last 10 years? 10 years, Noah. But look, I don't think there's no need to get completely negative. Look, I think for you two arguing in the chat, don't stop arguing. But look, for me, like, of course, the injuries are a big problem. And last season, the only year we got really lucky or really good with injuries, or the seasons that we got lucky with injuries, we went on to win the Champions League and the Premier League. And of course, as soon as international, and again, it's not like it's happened at Liverpool. It's happened on freaking international duty when he was training. It's always the case. Like, look at Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez, that knee injury that he sustained, that was a horrific injury, and that was at friggin' England. That wasn't even in Liverpool. That wasn't even for Liverpool. It was an England game. Stop arguing, fight. Jesus Christ, Anthony. As well, but and when Liverpool play Leicester right in December, I will throw a snowball at you. That's a promise anyway. But to be fair, Ipswich have a better manager than United. True, very very true. Jones and Elliott goal and assist returns is bad for many years already. We need to replace them. I don't think Harvey's is bad. I think Curtis Jones is not great, but again, it will be interesting next summer, because again, the first summer, again, Slot wanted to identify an area that he wanted to replace. He got in or looked at it in terms of the 6. But I think once, next season, once he gets a full grasp of everything, what he'll do in the transfer window. Will he go for another striker? Will he go for another not a 6, but another 8 in that regard, or 10? That'll be interesting. Jamal Musiala is available in some ways, anyway. But look, I think it's a shame that Harvey's injured, but hopefully, we'll have some good news in terms of his recovery. Maybe he might come back sooner, I should say. Anyway, but I am going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Big thank you to everyone. It's only a half-an-hour show as well. Not many stories out, but tomorrow we'll have a debate show. We're going to talk about the league. So Noah and Cal, you can have your debate then about, of course, where Liverpool are going to fare in the league, of course, because we're going to talk about can Liverpool compete for the title with Arsenal, Man City. That's going to be tomorrow's show. Friday then will be the match preview for a mass debate tomorrow. To be fair, and we're going to do a Premier League one. So if you're available for that sometime next week, it'll be probably Thursday next week. Maybe we'll have a bit of a debate show about that and talk about the Premier League. So if you're available, let me know. But look, I'm excited for the weekend, even without Liverpool. I'm very much excited for the football because I hate international football, unless it's a World Cup or European Championship. Again, I hate it. The fact that we're I think we look at it and the fact that we got to sit through Nation League games, and they're like, what a load of nonsense that is, as well. But look, I think it's it's glad that the football's back, anyway, of course. But if you are new around here, of course, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you again, if you want to know what we've spoken about tonight, if I can get my words out, of course, we spoke about Ryan Gravenberch, how good he's been so far this season. We spoke about Mbappe and that weird story about, of course, him agreeing personal terms, and we've spoken, of course, about Harvey Elliott. Your defo absolutely not. Like, to be fair, my country is, I was going to say Guernsey, but then Guernsey is technically British. So, look, either way, but no, absolutely. Anthony, you are country over club, 1,000%. But I'm not saying that. No, you absolute evil man. Colin loves Kevin Mott. No, again, I didn't even watch any of the Wales games. Like, I found out at like 11:30, like 2 nights ago, that they beat Montenegro. Like, I do not care. Like, genuinely, I do not care about international footy. Again, I care about Liverpool players. I care about what happens, but apart from that, I don't really care. Again, I think, yeah, last night I watched like a bit of the Germany-Holland game because of Ryan Gravenberch, because everyone was banging on about how good he was having, good game he was having, as well. So, look, I'm all for, like, again, a World Cup or European Championship, but if we're talking about bloody stupid friendlies and the Nations League, again, get rid of it. In my opinion, anyway. But hopefully, all of you had a good laugh today. Anyway, but of course, we'll be live again tomorrow, chat. Anyway, 9 o'clock as usual for you guys, of course. Of course, we've got more shows coming up, obviously, throughout the weeks now. Again, the footy's back, which again is really, really good. But yeah, tomorrow will be the show. We're going to talk about the Prem title. Can Liverpool compete with the rest of the rest of the top in terms of City and Arsenal as well? Get a couple of Reds on as well and speak a bit about that anyway. But until next time, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ta-ra.